Welcome back to another edition of A Game a Day by Isaiah, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. I'm Isaiah Rhodes, and today's presentation will be Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Phoenix Suns and Los Angeles Clippers. The Suns lead the series 3-1 and have an opportunity to close out the Los Angeles Clippers. This will be the third opportunity this postseason for the Clippers to close out a particular team, and they've done so in spectacular fashion. Going back to to round one, where they close out the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers in game 5. Devin Booker had 47 points in that game. Then we can go to game 4 of their sweep of the Denver Nuggets. Devin Booker had 34 points in that game. This opportunity for the Clippers this opportunity for the Suns is an opportunity to close out this Clippers team, which has battled them valiantly through the first 4 games. Coming off of game 4, the Suns were able to defeat the Clippers 84-80, despite tough shooting from Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Chris Paul in the series coming back from COVID protocol, missed the first 2 games of this series, and the 2 games that he has played, he's shooting 11 for 41. Despite that, the Suns have been able to get spectacular contributions all the way around. DeAndre Ayton had 19 points and 20 rebounds in Game 4. Was a spectacular presence defensively, and the Suns were able to overcome 12 opportunities for the Clippers to take the lead in the fourth quarter, yet they were not able to do so because of staunch defense. Now, some may argue that it was bad defense all the way around. Bad offense all the way around. Nevertheless, the Suns have an opportunity to get to the finals. Now, this Clippers team, despite losing tough games, still has an opportunity to stay in this series. Paul George fell short in game 4. He shot 5 for 20 from the floor. He missed 4 free throws, and down the stretch, he just wasn't able to get things done. But this Clippers team has got balance from their role players all the way around in this postseason. That they won't have Kawhi Leonard for a second consecutive game dealing with the sprained knee, and they won't have Nemanja Zubac, who sprained his MCL, so he's out tonight. Ivica Zubac had a spectacular game 4, crashing the boards, getting easy finishes at the rim, just being a more assertive presence for the Clippers. He'll be out, so the Clippers will have to find a way to make up for his presence inside. But if Paul George can have a spectacular game, and Reggie Jackson can find his shooting touch, then maybe the Clippers can find a way to win Game 5 on the road and get it back to LA for Game 6. Now, it will be a tough out. The Suns have only lost 1 game at home this postseason. That's going back to Game 2 against the Los Angeles Lakers. So we'll see how this Clippers team will fare against the Suns team, who has, by all accounts, figured out how to seize every opportunity to put themselves in a position to go to the NBA Finals. We'll see how it turns out. Nevertheless, we'll be back with more. This is the Game of Day by Isaiah, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. I'm Isaiah Rhodes. Stay tuned. Welcome back as we start this game. This is Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Los Angeles Clippers and Phoenix Suns. The Clippers get things started with a Reggie Jackson 3 from the left wing. Reggie Jackson has found a way to put himself in position to get paid this summer. He's been, in a lot of ways, the Clippers' second or third best player on many occasions this postseason, especially without Kawhi Leonard. He's stepped up over the last 7 games to help to help the Clippers put themselves in position here in the Western Conference Finals. They start the game with a 5-0 lead as Pat Beverly gets a score, and Jay Crowder misses a 3 from the right corner. So now the Clippers on the run. Terrence Mann at the rim finishes over Devin Booker. So Clippers get an early start, up 7-0. Now, the starting lineups on the floor, you got Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, and Jay Crowder. Bridges actually misses a 3 from the right wing, Rebounded by Patrick Beverly, finds Marcus Morris. Now for the Clippers, they have Reggie Jackson. I mentioned his three from the left wing. Paul George, Terrence Mann, Pat Beverly, and Marcus Morris. Missed three from Paul George, gets the Suns on a run, and Chris Paul finds Devin Booker at the top of the key for three. So it's 7-3, Clippers lead. We passed the first 2 minutes of this first quarter. Suns lead this series, best out of 7. They lead 3-1. In the post, on the left block, Marcus Morris gets the fadeaway over Devin Booker as he comes across the lane to knock the basket down. So it's 9-3. Now, Morris' performance throughout this postseason has been very inconsistent at times. He's a barometer for Clippers' success. When he's playing really well, the Clippers win. But he's going stretches where his outshot shot hasn't fallen, and at times he's been very difficult to play because his versatility adds a different dynamic to this team. But if he can't knock down the three, which the Clippers definitely utilized throughout the season, as they've been one of the best shooting teams in terms of percentage throughout the league, throughout the season. If he can't knock down his three, then he's not really valuable. Wow, Reggie Jackson slams it home over Jay Crowder. Great find from Patrick Beverly as Reggie Jackson was able to get out on the run and fill that lane on the left side. He finishes strong over Jay Crowder. I think Crowder was surprised that Reggie Jackson actually got up that high, and now the Clippers get another steal. On the run is Terrence Mann. At the rim is Paul George with the first and one. So right now, Clippers up 10, 13-3, 8:50 to go here in the first quarter. What a slam from Reggie Jackson if we look at the replay. Well, first they're going to show the replay of Paul George. Great pass from Terrence Mann to get out on the run, fill the lane. Paul George did on the left side, and he's able to get the reverse. Again, Paul George struggling from the free throw line going back to game 4. He missed 2 key free throws in game 2 that would have put the Clippers up 3 that led to a DeAndre Ayton dunk at the buzzer set up with 0.9 seconds left, set up by Jay Crowder. So in this series, Paul George shooting 73% from the free throw line. He completed the M1, and then DeAndre Ayton comes back and gets a slam at the basket. So it's 14-5. Paul George for 3. He misses it from the left wing, rebounded by Jay Crowder. Devin Booker on the right wing, attacking, draws and kicks to Jay Crowder. Straightaway 3 at the top of the key, no good. Rebounded by Reggie Jackson. Reggie slowing down the pace, looking for George. George has been a more prominent facilitator for this Los Angeles Clippers team over the latter part of this season. He sets up Marcus Morris in the post on the left block, able to get into the post and fade to the baseline for a jumper. 16-5, Clippers lead. Chris Paul misses a mid-range jump shot. Terrence Mann gets out on the run. Great pass ahead from Patrick Beverly. Clippers reset. Clippers shooting 7 of 9 from the floor. Phoenix Suns shooting 2 of 8. Morris, jab steps. Pull-up jumper over Crowder. Good. So Marcus Morris in the zone early. He's being very, very assertive. And the Clippers are up 18-5, 7:26 to go here in the first quarter. The Clippers looking to keep their season alive, looking to extend to a Game 6 back at home. Stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. I'm Isaiah Rose. Again, stay tuned. Welcome back out of that timeout. Clippers get a stop, and they go right back to Morris on that left block. He's been really, really assertive through the first 4 minutes of this game. And he gets a fadeaway across the lane. So now, Clippers up 20-5. Chris Paul trying to set up Jay Crowder at the top of the key, works it to Devin Booker. Devin, 8 of 22 in game 4. He works it to Chris Paul, mid-range jumper from the left block. Free throw line extended is good. 20-7, Clippers lead. Paul George Takes a screen from Terrence Mann. Mann out to Reggie Jackson. Left wing three. Falls short. Rebounded by Bridges. So let's see if the Suns can settle down and get into a flow here. Bridges steps into a three from the right wing. Good. So 5 quick points for the Suns. 20-10. Patrick Beverly over to Paul George in that left corner. Dribble handoff from Morris to Reggie Jackson. Jackson back to Morris. Morris takes the three over Devin Booker. Big time basket for Marcus Morris. They say it's a long two. I'm sure they'll review that. But Morris has been on a tear right now. We look at his numbers right now, 4-4 from the floor. Jay Crowder comes right back at Morris with a basket, just trying to stop that bleeding. His pre-man matchup right now, and Morris, again, 4-4 from the floor with 10 points. Man, kicks it to Morris. Left wing three from Morris. Big basket from Marcus Morris. 25-22, the Clippers lead. Marcus Morris with 13 points here in his first quarter. Still have 5 more minutes to go. Devin Booker for three. He's fouled by Paul George with just under 5 minutes to go. 4:59 to go here in the first. So Booker has to get it going to stop this bleeding. We look at Morris in the zone right now. He's trying to make sure that he's not going home on vacation early. They'll probably review that long two for Morris to see if that's a three. It looks like it could have been a three. We look at Morris. He has 13 points through 7 minutes. That's the most points he's had in this series. Again, like I said, he's a barometer for the Clippers' success. When he's playing really well, this Clippers team, for the most part, wins. When he's shooting bad, it tends to permeate throughout the other role players on his team, and they tend to struggle. So Booker makes the first free throw. Devin Booker broke his nose going back to game 2 with a head-to-head collision with Patrick Beverly. Since then, he's been wearing the face mask. Now, he took that face mask off in the second half of game 4. It didn't help with his shooting per se, but down the stretch, he was definitely more aggressive in terms of attacking the basket and just really trying to make sure he got points on the board. Booker 2 of 3 from the free throw line. So 25-15. Patrick Beverly. Cross-court pass to Mann. Mann attacks DeAndre Ayton. One leg fade away off the glass, no good as the shot clock expired. We look at Cameron Payne into the game. Payne trying to set up Ayton inside. Ayton picks up the offensive foul as he clears out Morris, trying to get that post position. Look at the replay. Ayton, a 7-footer, trying to establish the paint touch. Clearly cleared out Morris, who was only 6'8". But the Clippers are going small with Zubac being out with that sprained MCL. Turnover by Paul George, trying to find Morris in that left corner. Devin Booker, guarded by Mann. Straightaway three at the top of the key. Big time three from Devin Booker. So it's a 7-point game, 25-18. Paul George gets it to Mann. They're working around the perimeter. Patrick Beverly. Over to Reggie Jackson, out to Marcus Morris. He misses his first shot of the game. He misses a left wing three. So Suns on the run. Devin Booker from 3. Can't knock it down. Rebounded Patrick Beverly. Looked for the outlet pass to Morris, but he goes to Paul George. George. Guarded by Bridges on the right wing. Looking for Morris on the back cut. But Ayton read it perfectly. Plays the passing lane, gets the steal. So Suns out on the run. They're trying to get something going here. The Clippers got out by 15 early. Payne for 3. Right corner 3. Good. So big 3 for Cameron Payne, and now it's a 4-point game. Ty Lue had to call timeout as the Suns are on a 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Clippers lead by 4, but the Suns are surging. Stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by Zay presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back to another edition of the Game of Day by Zay presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. The Suns were on a 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Out of that timeout, DeMarcus Cousins into the game, gets a slam to stop the bleeding just a bit. Cameron Payne misses a floater. Rebounded by Reggie Jackson. Also into the game for the Clippers, Nicholas Batum. So Reggie Jackson again looking to set up DeMarcus Cousins. Dribble handoff to Reggie Jackson. He knocks down the three from the right wing. So the Clippers come back and respond with a quick 5-0 run. They're back up by 9. Now I spoke to you about as Cameron Johnson knocks down a three from the right corner. I spoke to you about Marcus Morris being a barometer for the Clippers' success. Here in these playoffs, when he shoots 50%, the Clippers are 7-0. So when he's assertive and he's efficient, this Clippers team is a much better team, and it brings them a different dynamic. He's supposed to be like a 3-and-D guy for them, while also providing some toughness defensively, and just really again providing a different dynamic in terms of matchups. But if he's struggling from the floor, it really affects their role players. Now we see Reggie Jackson was fouled attacking the rim, so he'll go to the free throw line for 2. He makes the first. Reggie Jackson going back to game 4. Didn't shoot the best. Only made 7 field goals, 7 for 21. But again, he's been playing well this postseason, especially as the third option, or at times the second option to this Clippers team, coming up with big shots. They've been without Kawhi Leonard for 7 consecutive games, dealing with a sprained knee. So he's definitely trying to hold his weight while Kawhi is out. Dario Saric, left wing 3, he misses it. Terrence Mann with the rebound, looking to push. Cut off by Cameron Payne. Good defense by Payne to stop the fast break. Well, under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. DeMarcus Cousins straightaway 3, it rims out. Cameron Payne with the rebound. 1:35 to go. Clippers up over the Suns, 32-24. Cameron Payne takes a 3 from the right wing. He misses it. Cameron Payne in the first 2 games averaged 20 points per game and 9 assists. Helped the Suns get up 2 games to none. And then when he sprained his ankle in game 3, what that really took away from the Suns' dynamic, that was actually the return of Chris Paul. And without his scoring, the Suns struggled. He came back in game 4. Everyone struggled from the floor, but the Suns were still able to pull out the victory. Now game 5, they're down 8. They just got a rebound off of a DeMarcus Cousins missed hook across the lane. Devin Booker working the right baseline against Terrence Mann. Off the glass. Great move there by Devin Booker. Stop on a dime, guarded by Mann. Terrence Mann played great defense there, but Devin Booker's in a different zone right now. 11 points, 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 2 from 3. Reggie Jackson, pull-up jumper, no good. Rebounded by Saric. So despite the tough shooting for the Suns here in the first quarter, they're only down 2 possessions with the basketball. 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Dario Saric misses a 3 short, rebounded by Nicholas Batum. He finds Marcus Morris. Morris, only 1 miss here in the first quarter. Sets up DeMarcus Cousins. What a pass at the rim, as Morris actually found Cousins with an over-the-head pass. Morris went up straight up for a layup. Abdul Nader into the game. Gets a floater set up for Dario Saric. He misses it. So the shot clock is off. Clippers up 8, 34-26. 13 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Reggie Jackson with the basketball directly. He's already had a good rapport with DeMarcus Cousins to start. And Cameron Johnson commits the foul. We look at this replay. We look at Morris attack Abdul Nader off the dribble, finds Cousins right at the rim with an over-the-head pass, and found the easy layup for Cousins. Cousins, one of the best bigs going back to the mid-2010s, but an Achilles injury really changed the trajectory of his career. As I say that, though, Reggie Jackson, gets a layup off the glass with the left hand at the buzzer. Clippers lead by 10, 36-26 at the end of one. The Clippers trailed this series 3-1. The Suns looking to close out the Clippers here at home, but the Clippers are fighting tooth and nail to keep their season alive. We'll be back with more. This is the Game of the Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. We start this second quarter of Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Clippers lead the Suns 36-26. The Clippers shot 65% in that first quarter, and we see DeMarcus Cousins strip Chris Paul and take it coast to coast for a layup. So the energy for the Suns is a little lacking right now. They have to pick it up. The sense of urgency is there for the Clippers again. Their season is on the line. They're down 3-1. They want to get it back to LA for a Game 6. DeMarcus Cousins at the rim finishes strong over Dario Saric. So Clippers up 40-28. Cameron Payne looking to get downhill, cut off by Patrick Beverley. As Paul sets up Saric at the top of the key. Back to a dribble handoff with Payne. Cameron Payne looks to kick it out to Abdul Nader. Nader mid-range jump shot, good. So it's 40-30. Suns shot 41% in that first quarter. Cousins inside, takes contact, still able to finish. Good setup there from Paul George on that left block for DeMarcus Cousins. Saric takes a screen. Cameron Payne looking to get the floater. It's blocked. Paul George out on the run. At the rim, layup is good. So Clippers up by 14. Their largest lead of the game was 15. They started the game up 20-5. Cameron Payne with the floater over DeMarcus Cousins. His previous floater was blocked. This one, not so much. So it's a 12-point game. Clippers up 44-32. Paul George, guarded by Cameron Johnson. George kicks it to Cousins. Left corner three, no good. Rebounded by Nader. Chris Paul looking to work that mid-range from the right block. Good, and the foul. Cousins with the closeout didn't allow for landing space. That's where the foul is. It wasn't about the contact up top. It was about the landing space. DeMarcus Cousins says he didn't touch him. He did not touch him up top, but it's more about the landing space. Again, Chris Paul in this series not shooting the best, but what is always good for Chris Paul is his assist to turnover ratio, his leadership, and just having him on the floor is a sense of calm for this Suns team. Now, he'll have to pick it up offensively here as the team is struggling from the field. He completes the N1, so it's a 9-point game. Terrence Mann back into the game. Luke Kennard on the floor for the Clippers. Kennard attacking Johnson, trying to get inside, works his way to that left hand, can't finish the shot off the glass. Cameron Johnson with the rebound. So good defense by Johnson. He gets the rebound, looking to attack Luke Kennard, but on the fake and drive, he was called for the travel. Patrick Beverley directing, gets it to Paul George. So George over to Luke Kennard. Kennard in the middle of the paint, kicks it to Patrick Beverley in that right corner. 3-point shot is a good shot, but Patrick Beverley wasn't able to knock it down. Devin Booker looking to get it to Johnson. Cameron Johnson working that right baseline, gets it to Nader. Nader trying to set up an alley-oop for Aiden. Aiden's still able to catch it and go right up for that finish. So DeAndre Ayton continues his efficient play, one of the best rim finishers in the league. Aiden actually deflects a pass from Paul George, and Chris Paul commits a foul on Paul George in that right corner. Look at the replay. We see Paul George looking to save the ball from going out of bounds, and as Chris Paul closes out on Paul George, he actually pushes him out of bounds. This Phoenix Suns crowd doesn't agree with the call, but it definitely was a foul. So to be sidelined out of bounds, as we see head coach Ty Lue, known historically for coming back from the biggest 3-1 deficit in NBA history, as he's the first head coach to come back from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals, coming back from 3-1 over that 73-9 historic Golden State Warriors team, led by LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and others in historic fashion. So he's no stranger to coming back from 3-1. Devin Booker at the rim trying to draw a foul. He does draw the foul. Again, Devin Booker, despite playing with that broken nose and playing with that mask, still aggressive, understanding that this is a must-win. Booker attacking, draws the foul from Patrick Beverley. First free throw for Booker is good. Second free throw for Booker. Finish. So it's a 5-point game. Suns looking to come back. They were down by 14 just a second ago. So they were on a 9-0 run. Devin Booker with 13 points. George kicks it to Terrence Mann. Top of the key, 3 off the back rim, no good. Rebounded by DeAndre Ayton. So this 9-0 run has spanned over the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Johnson, left corner 3, set up from Mikal Bridges. What a pass on that right baseline to Cameron Johnson in that left corner. The 3-pointer is good. It's a 2-point lead for the Sun, 2-point lead for the Clippers now. 7:16 to go here in the first half. Ty Lue has to stop this momentum again. The Suns looking to close out this Clippers team here at home in Game 5. Stay tuned for more. This is the Game of the Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Welcome back as the Clippers try to stop the bleeding. Paul George gets a layup, a mid-range jumper to give the Clippers a 4-point lead. The Suns were on a 12-0 run that forced Ty Lue to call a timeout as the momentum was clearly shifting to the Suns' advantage. But Paul George attacking gets a finish, so it's 46-42. Chris Paul looking to take a screen. 5 on the shot clock, has to back up, guarded by Morris. Chris Paul, fadeaway jump shot over Morris, falls short. The Clippers can't get the rebound though. Cameron Johnson there for the hustle. Pulls up for 3. He misses it off the back rim, and we have a stoppage as the ball did hit the rim. The ball hit the rim. Cameron Johnson chased it down, but apparently there's a stoppage in discussion by the referees. The ball hit the rim. Cameron Johnson chased it down, took the 3. We look at the replay. The ball hit the rim. It was tipped out by DeAndre Ayton. Cameron Johnson got the ball, took a 3. He missed it. I don't understand why they're giving the Suns back the basketball, but they're giving the Suns back the basketball. Terrence Mann steals the pass from DeAndre Ayton. Basket good. So the Clippers come back with 4 straight points to go up 6. Look at the field goal percentage for both teams. Clippers up shooting 60% so far. Suns shooting 46%. Chris Paul comes back, gets a mid-range jumper from the left block. Right now, the Clippers outscoring the Suns in the paint 30-8. Marcus Morris in the paint on the left block going against Cameron Johnson. Another mid-range jump shot across the lane. Marcus Morris has just been in a different zone. He's missed one shot tonight. Morris 7 of 8 from the floor, 15 points. Chris Paul looking to set up Ayton at the rim. Good defense there by Terrence Mann. 9 on the shot clock. What a pass from Chris Paul to Mikal Bridges with a great off-the-ball movement, but Bridges misses the layup. Terrence Mann looking to kick out to Morris. Morris saves the pass. He gets it to Luke Kennard. Straightaway 3. He misses it. Rims out. Devin Booker guarded by Marcus Morris. Booker misses the mid-range jump shot. So Reggie Jackson with the rebound. Clippers up 6. They were up by as many as 15 here in this first half. And back and forth we've gone as the Suns have always responded with the run of their own. Now it's the Clippers' turn. Paul George shoots a 3 at the top of the key, misses it off the back rim. 4:26 to go. We look at the three-point shooting for both teams. Suns shooting 7 of 13 from 3. Clippers shooting 3 of 13. So now it's a 3-point game. 50-47. Clippers lead, but again, the Suns are fighting back. Devin Booker, 16 points here in the first half, 4 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the three-point line. Paul George looking to set up Reggie Jackson. Jackson guarded by Cameron Johnson, 6 on the shot clock. Jackson sees it, has to get a shot off. Off the dribble, right to left crossover. Off the glass, basket is good as Reggie Jackson able to utilize his ability off the dribble to create that shot. Monty Williams calls a timeout. So 3:52 to go here in the first half. Clippers up 5. We'll be back with more. This is a Game of Day by Zay presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Clippers lead the Suns 52-47. Welcome back as Devin Booker misses a mid-range jump shot out of that Suns timeout. Clippers with the basketball up 5. 3:30 to go here in the first half. Marcus Morris takes a left sideline fadeaway, spun back to the baseline, and shot it off the side of the backboard. Good defense there by Jake Crowder. We approach 3 minutes to go here in the first half. DeAndre Ayton takes one of his rare jump shots, this time from the left block. He knocks it down. So the Clippers are up 3, 52-49. Reggie Jackson takes the screen, goes back to Paul George. Paul George finds Morris. Morris at the rim, closed out by Ayton. Good paint presence there from DeAndre Ayton. 3 on the shot clock. Man takes the 3 as the shot clock expired. It rims out. So Suns have an opportunity to tie the game with the 3. Devin Booker finds Cameron Payne. They work it to the right corner. Jay Crowder misses a 3. And Luke Kennard trying to get the rebound is fouled. It's a loose ball foul against Bridges, trying to go for that offensive rebound. So the Clippers dodges some bullets here. But again, the Suns, despite their struggles from the field shooting and their lack of urgency to start the game, they definitely responded to every punch from the Clippers and made it a close game throughout. Clippers trying to stave off elimination. They're down 3-1 in this best of 7. Paul George gets the basket at the rim. So it's 54-49. As we approach 2 minutes to play, Cameron Payne takes the screen from 8. Goes to Crowder in that right corner. Cut off by Reggie Jackson. Back to Payne. 10 on the shot clock. Payne attacks Morris. Layup off the glass, no good. Fighting for the rebound is Ayton. But Reggie Jackson able to get the tip to Paul George. Jackson slows down at that left wing. They work it to Paul George. George playing with the basketball. Almost had it stolen. We got a foul against Cameron Payne. Not quite sure why they called that foul on Payne, as they both have rights to that loose ball. But as Cameron Payne is reaching in for the ball, Paul George picks it up and goes straight up, so they call the foul. But it's a foul on the floor, so possession will stay with the Clippers. Under 2 to play here in the first half. Clippers up 5. Paul George at the top of the free throw line. Has it deflected by Payne. Goes out to Reggie Jackson. He takes a 3. Misses it from the left wing. Aiden with the rebound. Suns get out and run. Clippers get back defensively. So now in the half court, Suns reset. Payne, guarded by Morris. Skip pass over to Mikal Bridges, a bit too high. Bridges couldn't catch it, so it's a turnover. You see Chris Paul coming into the game with 1:22 to go here in the first half. It's a 5-point game. Clippers up. Clippers stormed out to a 15-point lead, 20-5. The Suns responded, got it close, and then the Clippers got it back up to 14, and then the Suns responded and got it down to 2. So since then, it's been a back and forth. That turnover by Cameron Payne turned into a 3-point shot from Morris. So now it's up to an 8-point game, 57-49, under a minute to go here in the first half. Chris Paul over to Jay Crowder. They work it to Bridges in that left corner, guarded by Paul George. They work it to Chris Paul. Under 9 seconds on the shot clock. 3-point shot for Chris Paul, no good. Strong rebound for Nicholas Batum in the paint. Clippers trying to find Morris under the rim. No good on the and one opportunity, but Morris was fouled by Chris Paul in the paint. So now Morris will go to the free throw line for 2. Morris has had an exceptional first half. Only 2 misses, in 19 minutes here in the first half. Morris has 18 points already. 18 points, 8 of 10 from the floor. This is his series high so far in terms of points. Morris' first free throw was good. So despite the runs of this Clippers team, despite the runs of this Suns team, the Clippers are staying pat, maintaining their lead. They led for the entirety of this first half. They're shooting exceptionally well, shooting 57% from the floor, despite shooting horribly from 3. They're only 4 of 16, but they're outscoring the Suns in the paint 34-8. They're outscoring the Suns 34-8 in the paint, and they've been able to get points off of turnovers, as the Suns have 7 turnovers and the Clippers have 12 points off of those turnovers. So Clippers on a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Devin Booker, straightaway 3 at the top of the key, set up by Chris Paul. Booker unable to knock it down. So there's a 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. There's 20 seconds to go in the half. Reggie Jackson with the basketball. Jackson's also played well here in the first half, 5 of 8 from the floor with 14 points. 5 on the shot clock. 7 seconds to go in the half. Jackson trying to get a shot up against Devin Booker. It'll be a 24-second violation. So they'll put 3.1 left on the clock. Great defense there by Devin Booker. It's a 10-point lead for the Clippers, 59-49. Inbounding will be Chris Paul. Paul finds Aiden. Aiden finds Booker. Booker gets the shot off at the buzzer. Big time basket in play set up by the Suns. Great execution there as Chris Paul found DeAndre Ayton at half court. Found a great dribble handoff to Devin Booker. And as Booker got to the right wing, got the pump fake. If you look at the replay, Reggie Jackson had to sell out on the closeout, and Devin Booker knocked down the 3 to keep the Suns at an arm's length with the Clippers. Big time 3 from Devin Booker. Booker's been one of the rare Suns to actually shoot well from the floor tonight. 5 of 11 from the floor with 19 points. He's 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 4 of 5 from 3. So stay tuned for more. This is a Game of the Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. The Clippers are fighting for their playoff lives, down 3 games to 1, but they're up at half by 7. The Suns are looking to close out this Clippers team here in Game 5 at home. Stay tuned for more as we see who will close it out the best. Stay tuned for more. Stay tuned. Welcome back as we start the second half of Game 5 between the Los Angeles Clippers and Phoenix Suns. Suns trail by 7, Clippers up 7:59 to 52. To start the second half, Marcus Morris, who had 20 points in the first half, series high. He misses a three from the left wing. The Suns get possession. Chris Paul looking to probe the paint. Gets inside, a layup over Terrence Mann is good. So 59-54. Paul George at the top of the key. George has been quiet. He has 11 points so far. But again, he'll have to pick it up in the second half if the Clippers want to finish this game. Terrence Mann has his shot blocked. And now another possession for the Suns. Chris Paul looking to take a screen. He denies it, goes to Bridges. Bridges on the right wing, guarded by Patrick Beverly. 8 on the shot clock. They go to Chris Paul. Paul over to Jay Crowder. 3-point shot from Crowder off the back rim, no good. Fighting for the rebound is Paul George, but he can't overpower DeAndre Ayton for the offensive rebound. So, Bridges takes a mid-range shot from the left corner. He knocks it down. It's a 3-point game. 59-56. The Clippers have led for the majority of this game. Actually, they led for the entirety. But the Suns have always battled back. It's a 3-point game again. 59-56. Paul George attacking Devin Booker. Can't finish the layup. Rebounded by Jay Crowder. Bridges steps into a three. Misses it off the back rim. Rebounded by Reggie Jackson. Now, this moment right here is very reminiscent of the fourth quarter for the Clippers and Suns, to be quite honest with you. There was 12 straight possessions where the Clippers had the opportunity to take the lead against the Suns, yet they couldn't get over that hump, and the Suns were able to survive that game, despite Devin Booker fouling out at the end, 84-80. Now, trailing by 3, Paul George able to get a basket and extend that 3-point lead for the Clippers to 5. So it's 61-56, but Devin Booker responds with a mid-range jumper of his own. So it's back to 3, 61-58. Marcus Morris with the basketball going against Booker off the left corner. Looking to kick out to Patrick Beverly. Works it to that right corner. Man, mid-range jump shot. Can't get it to fall off the dribble. So rebounded by Jay Crowder. Suns trail by 3. Crowder attacking the lane. Finds DeAndre Ayton. Ayton couldn't quite handle the pass, but the deflection goes to Jay Crowder, and he lays it up with 8:56 to go here in the third. It's a 1-point game. Clippers have to call timeout to stop momentum. Clippers lead by 1, 61-60. Stay tuned for more. This is the Game of Day by Zay presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. This is Game 5. The Suns are looking to close out this series tonight and go to the NBA Finals. Welcome back. 8:49 to go here in the third quarter. Clippers lead by 1, 61-60. Reggie Jackson looking to set up Paul George under the basket. It sails out of bounds. So now the Suns have an opportunity to take their first lead of this game. The Clippers have led from start to finish. From the start all the way up to this point right now. Still a lot of game left. Suns looking to take the lead. Chris Paul, free throw line extended mid-range jumper is good. So the Suns have taken their first lead tonight, 62-61. Can the Clippers respond? Their season is on the line. They're down 3-1. They're trying to extend this back to LA. Paul George at the rim draws a foul. And it will count. I thought the basket was a bit late after the contact, but they give him the continuation. We see him attack that left wing. Got the fake with DeAndre Ayton. He anticipated the kick out to Batum, and Jay Crowder fouls Paul George from behind. Again, the Clippers will have to see Paul George pick his scoring up. The first half saw Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris carry the offense. Now Paul George has to pick it up. Now with 16 points as he completes the and one. So Clippers back up by 2, 64 to 62. Paul just knocked down a free throw line extended mid-range jumper. He takes another one. He falls short, rebounded by Nicholas Batum. So Clippers up 2, looking to build on this lead. Reggie Jackson off the dribble, created some separation with Devin Booker, but they run more offense as Nicholas Batum in that right corner draws in kicks to Morris. Morris misses a 3. Now in that first half, Morris only missed 2 shots. He was 8 of 10. And in the second half, he hasn't got it going quite yet. Devin Booker misses a left-handed layup at the rim. Clippers rebound. Reggie Jackson off the dribble attacks Mikal Bridges, draws a foul. It won't go in, but he'll be going to the free throw line for 2. So the Clippers are looking to respond. They were down by 1. They were just down by 1. Now they're up by 2, looking to build that 2-possession lead. This is a Suns squad that really has dominated this entire playoff. They won their first round series in 6 games, but the 6 games weren't indicative of how dominant the Suns were, especially to close out that particular series. They won the last 3 games in dominant fashion, and then they sweep the Denver Nuggets again in dominant fashion. Chris Paul was magnificent, a truly virtuoso type performance in that 4-game sweep. And then we see in this series, they win the first 2 games in close fashion, but they win the first 2 games at home. They go on a road and split with the Clippers. Now they're up 3-1. This Clippers team has had to overcome adversity the entire postseason. They've been down 0-2 in every single series, but they came back and won the first 2 series against the Utah Jazz and against the Dallas Mavericks. Reggie Jackson splits the free throws, so the Clippers are up by 3. And a miscommunication between Chris Paul and Jay Crowder. Chris Paul went all the way to the right corner. Jay Crowder thought he was on the right wing. So that's a turnover. The Suns have 8 turnovers. Clippers only have 3. The points off of those Suns turnovers are minimal, though, despite only 8 turnovers. Despite 8 turnovers, it's only 9 points. But the Clippers get 2 more points added to that as Paul George knocks down a mid-range jumper. So he's picking up his scoring here in this 3rd quarter, now with 7 points here in the quarter. He has 18 points total. Reggie Jackson closes out on Chris Paul. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Suns running offense. They get it to Devin Booker. Right corner 3, no good. Rebounded by Patrick Beverly. In and out dribble on Chris Paul. Can he finish the layup over Ayton? He does. So the Clippers, who were down by 1, now on an 8-0 run. They're up by 7, 69 to 62. And there will be a foul against Devin Booker. Booker adjusting his face mask. Let's look at the in and out dribble on Morris. And then as he's trying to get the shot off, Paul George steps in, takes the charge. Clippers on an 8-0 run. We approach 6 minutes to play. Paul George guarded by Bridges. Paul George looking to get in the rhythm again. Gets to the paint, can't finish the layup, but draws the foul against Bridges again. 7 points here in this 3rd quarter for Paul George, getting his scoring up to 18 points. He'll have to pick it up here in the second half. Morris and Jackson carried that first half for the Clippers. Magnificent shooting from both as the Clippers were able to get out and build a big lead. But as the Suns have responded, as we've seen all night, now the Clippers will look to go to their go-to guy, especially with Kawhi Leonard out with that knee sprain. Paul George is next in command. He has to perform big if this Clippers team is going to have any capabilities of coming back from this 3-1 deficit. George makes the first free throw from the field, 8 of 12 from the field. He makes both free throws. So now it's a 9-point game. We're halfway through this 3rd quarter. Chris Paul looking to set up for a 3. He's fouled. And we see Chris Paul grabbing at his groin area. Pat Beverly is saying that Chris Paul tried to uh, initiate that contact. Paul gets up though, which is good to see. We'll see whether this is a 3-point opportunity or two. Now, Paul is actually at the 3-point line. Look at the replay. Pat Bev is actually trying to fight through the screen while Chris Paul is going up. So Paul is actually anticipating the contact, and that's where Pat Bev is kind of mocking him a bit, because that particular foul itself, you see Chris Paul uh, trying to stop on a dime and bait Pat Bev into going to that foul. So now they're reviewing it to see if there's any malicious intent on the foul. You can look at Chris stop and try to actually go into Pat Bev there for the foul. So he's trying to go into Patrick Beverly for the contact. Beverly, despite fighting through the screen, is trying to avoid the contact. So it's definitely a foul, but if you look at it from Chris Paul's left side, you can see Chris try to go into Patrick Beverly to draw that contact. It just so happens that because of Patrick Beverly's body angle fighting through the screen, Chris Paul took the brunt of that contact when he fell to the ground. I don't think this should be a flagrant foul. If they do call the foul, they should give it to Patrick. But again, I've spoken about this on multiple broadcasts so far. The NBA will definitely have to change this unnatural shooting motion, unnatural way that players are trying to draw fouls. You can see Chris try to go into Patrick Beverly to draw that foul. So they review it and they say that it's unnecessary contact by Beverly as Chris Paul was shooting the three. They call a flagrant one. I don't agree with this call, but Chris Paul gets 3 free throws and the Suns will get possession. So this can be a momentum changing call here, considering the fact that the Suns are trying to keep pace with the Clippers right now. If you get 3 points from Paul, who's an exceptional free throw shooter, it'll go 71-65, and the Suns will get possession. So let's see what he does with the free throws. First free throw rims in. When you look at the replay again, you can see Chris try to stop on a dime and draw that contact, but Beverly actually tries to avoid the contact and fight through the screen and goes under Chris Paul. Now, in doing so, when Chris comes down, he actually comes down on Patrick Beverly's foot. You can see good sportsmanship from Patrick Beverly, letting him know it wasn't anything malicious there. But again, this can be a momentum shifting call here. Suns get 3 points off of Chris Paul's free throws. So it's 71-65. And now Chris Paul at the point of attack tries to set up an alley for Ayton. Ayton catches it and finishes it like he always does. Ayton in this playoff has been so efficient at the rim. He's virtually unstoppable once he gets the ball near that rim. 71-67, so the Suns get 5 points on that possession. Marcus Morris from that left corner, good closeout from Bridges. But the mid-range jumper is there. It's been there all night for Morris. He's been getting to his spots and knocking it down. So it's a 6-point game. Chris Paul looking to set up Ayton in the block. He misses it. Morris actually beat him to a spot. It was still a manageable shot for Aiden, but he couldn't knock down that floater. But then Paul George comes right back. Great behind the back dribble against Chris Paul, excuse me. Paul George able to pull it back and knock down a big three-point shot. So the Clippers get the 3 free throws back from Chris Paul off of a 3 from Paul George. Great crossover move as Chris Paul fell to the ground. That's a highlight move there for Paul George. Paul George, big tongue twister. Man. We look at the replay as Chris trying to defend Paul George with a little bit of a push off with that left hand. Refs don't call it though. Right behind the back dribble and knocks down that 3. We look at Marcus Morris again, beating Bridges to that spot and knocking down that mid-range jump shot. So the Clippers are up by 9, 76-67. Paul George, 9 of 13 from the floor, 23 points. Marcus Morris, 22 points, and 9 of 13 from the floor. Morris, 22 points, his first points of the second half, while Paul George has scored 12 points here in his third quarter. So Devin Booker missed both free throws, a rarity for him. Paul George comes back and knocks down 3. So that's a 5-point swing there. Devin Booker, known to be a sure free throw shooter, misses 2, and then Paul George comes back for 3. Cam Johnson tries to get the 3 points back from the left corner. Big time basket for Cam Johnson as he was set up by Jay Crowder. It's a 9-point game, 79-70. Paul George looking to draw and kick to Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley steps up with confidence and knocks down the 3. So the Suns have to call a timeout and stop this momentum. It's an 82-70 lead. Clippers have responded as this Suns team came back and took the lead, 62-61. Since then, the Clippers have outscored the Suns 21-9. We'll be back with more. This is the Game of the Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. I'm Isaiah Rose. This is Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Clippers fighting for their lives. Welcome back. Out of that timeout, DeAndre Ayton gets set up by Jake Crowder into the paint. He fades away for a jump shot. So it's a 10-point game, 82-72. Morris looking to attack Cam Johnson. Can't get the layup to fall. Rebounded by Ayton. Suns on the run. Cam Johnson gets the basket. Morris actually fell out of bounds, and that created an imbalance defensively for the Clippers. It was a 5-on-4. Cam Johnson got the rebound. Cam Johnson got the stop and was able to get down court for the layup. Patrick Beverley, straightaway 3. He misses it short, rebounded by Devin Booker. So it's an 8-point game, 82-74. 2:45 to go here in the third. Devin Booker at the rim. Misses the layup with the left hand, but it will go to the free throw line for 2. Booker, in his most recent appearance at the line, went 0 for 2, and that turned into a 5-point swing as Paul George came right back down court and knocked down the 3. And we look at the replay where Morris missed the layup. He fell out of bounds. As Ayton got the rebound, Cam Johnson was able to run untouched straight down the lane and get that layup. So Cam Johnson trying to step up here for the Suns tonight. 11 points, 4 from the floor, 3 for 3 overall from 3. Booker makes the first free throw. So 2:42 to go. This is a pressure game for both sides. This Suns team, despite Chris Paul's experience and as the point guard, the ultimate leader, especially at that point guard position, he's very, very he's the leader of a very, very young team with a lack of playoff experience. So this deep playoff run, they're learning on the fly. This is their opportunity to close out this series. And everybody knows the closeout game is often the toughest game. Paul George is just in a different zone, man. Attacking the basket. He pulls back on Abdul Nader, steps back, knocks in the mid-range jump shot, puts the Clippers up 8. Then comes back, gets a steal off of a Suns turnover, tries to kick it out to Luke Kennard. Cam Johnson gets the steal. Devin Booker at the rim can't get the M1. He'll go to the free throw line for 2. But that step back jumper from Paul George was just magnificent skill level, man. He's just in a different zone here in the second half, picking up his scoring when the Clippers need it most. So Devin Booker will look to get the 2 points back. Devin Booker only shooting 6 of 14 tonight, but he's definitely been the premier scorer that the Suns have needed him to be right now with 24 points. He makes the first free throw. 24 points, 6 of 14 shooting overall, 4 for 6 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. He makes the second. So it's back to a 6-point game. We approach 2 minutes to play here in this third quarter. Nicholas Batum looking to set up Paul. Paul off the left wing. Doesn't get the 3 to fall because DeMarcus Cousins is called for the moving screen. The 3 actually went in, but the 3 wouldn't count because of that moving screen. No, actually, they call that the moving screen on Luke Kennard. Okay, so Devin Booker, mid-range jump shot, falls off the right side of the backboard. Paul George gets the rebound. He attacks Cam Johnson, finds DeMarcus Cousins. They're working around that right corner. Wide open, it's Nicholas Batum. He can't knock it down. Rebounded by Cam Johnson. He finds Devin Booker. So we're under 2 minutes to play here in the third. Clippers up 6, trying to finish out this quarter and finish out this game so they can get it back to LA. Turnover by Devin Booker, trying to set up DeAndre Ayton inside. Good defense by Luke Kennard. What a pass from DeMarcus Cousins to Nicholas Batum off that left baseline. As the initial setup was for Cousins under the rim. He anticipated the double team, found Batum wide open under the rim, working from that left baseline to get an easy layup. So Clippers back up 8. Cam Johnson called for the offensive foul. As he swings through, he got a bit too high with his elbows and knocked Paul George in the face with his elbow. So Clippers up 8 with possession. We look at the replay. Again, as Paul George closed out, we saw Cam bring his elbows high and caught Paul George right in the face with that left elbow. Clear shot. Nothing malicious, but definitely a clear shot. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Paul George has had a magnificent third quarter. Already 14 points. Now get it up to 17. Paul George has went nuclear here in this third quarter. Now with 31 points. He scored, pardon me, I said he had 14, now 17. Excuse me, he has 17, now 20. He has 31 points here in the third quarter. He has 20 points here in the third quarter, going from 11 to 31. DeMarcus Cousins in the post against Abdel Nader. Good defense by Nader. Deflects his dribble. Cousins kicks out to Terrence Mann. Mann with 8 on the shot clock. Can he get a layup off? He does. Offensive rebound. Cousins is there for the putback. So the Clippers have responded. They're up 13. It's 91 to 78. 6 seconds to go here in the third. Chris Paul for 3. It rims out. Rebounded by Paul George. And we go to the fourth quarter with the Clippers. 12 minutes away from getting the series back to LA for a Game 6. Stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. I'm Isaiah Rose. Stay tuned. Welcome back to a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Clippers come into this fourth quarter up 13. The Clippers have outscored the Suns in the paint 48 to 20, and that's provided a big boost to this game, considering the fact that Zubac is out of the game. He's missing today's game with the sprained MCL. No word as to how long he'll be out, if he'll be able to return in this series or not. But the Clippers still have found ways to get paint points, more specifically with Morris early in that first half. DeMarcus Cousins had a big impact in this game as well. So The Clippers trying to stave off elimination. They've had an impactful first three quarters, but you got to finish. This is a Suns team that has never gone away, despite all the big leads that the Clippers have had all game, 15, 14, 16. The Suns have always come back. They actually took the lead in the mid part of that third quarter as well. So let's see if the Clippers can finish. Torian Craig comes into the game for the start of the fourth. He gets an M1. He completes the M1, got it to a 10-point game, and then Man able to get a basket set up by DeMarcus Cousins to get it to 12. And now Dario Saric gets a basket, so it's a 10-point game, 93-83. And we have 11 minutes to play. Reggie Jackson back into the game. Jackson trying to set up a pick and roll with DeMarcus Cousins. Goes cross court to Batum. Batum trying to find Cousins at the rim. Finishes the basket, falling out of bounds, and gets the bucket. So strong finish there by DeMarcus Cousins. That catch was very tough as Batum got it to him below the knees. He was able to catch it, take it straight up as Torian Craig was going for that steal. And Cousins was able to finish. So big basket for DeMarcus Cousins. Can he complete the N1? He does. So the Clippers up 13, 96-83. 10:50 to go. Paul George is on the bench. He had a magnificent third quarter with 20 points in that third, 20 of his 31. Devin Booker gets to the basket easily. Moving downhill, he gets a layup. So it's an 11-point game. Can Booker have one of his magnificent quarters to get this Suns team back in position to finish out this series and go to the NBA Finals? Reggie Jackson over to Cousins. On the left wing, he goes back to Jackson. 8 on the shot clock. Reggie Jackson guarded by Dario Saric. Skip pass over to Luke Kennard in that right corner. He misses the three. Rebounded by Cam Johnson. It's deflected to Devin Booker. So Booker, who just got a layup, looking to run the offense right now. Chris Paul on the bench. In and out dribble from Booker. One-on-one with Cousins. 8 on the shot clock. Pulls up for three. Knocks it down. So big basket for Devin Booker. It's now a 8-point game. 5 straight points for Devin. Booker tonight, 8 of 17 from the floor, 5 of 7 from 3, 30 points. Reggie Jackson, now guarded by Chris Paul. Mid-range jumper, Reggie Jackson, no good. Rebounded by Cam Johnson. So 5 straight points from Devin Booker has gotten into an 8-point game. Devin, mid-range jump over Reggie Jackson, good. Big-time bucket for Devin Booker. Now a 7-point game, 96-89 as they take that three-pointer away from Devin. They adjust the score, but he gets the points back and more. It's a 7-point game, 96-89. Stay tuned for more. This is a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Welcome back to a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Clippers up 7 with possession. Paul George comes out of that timeout, takes a three as the shot clock is winding down. He misses it. Suns on a run, looking to inch even closer. Crossover from Chris Paul on Marcus Morris. He knocks down the mid-range jumper. Free throw line extended. Now it's back to a 5-point game. Suns on an 8-0 run. We look at Morris in the paint as Cam Johnson cannot stop him from sealing off inside. So 8:34 to go. It's a mountain of time left. Now it's only a 5-point lead, a 2-possession game. Devin Booker's been carrying this offensive load for the Suns. Who's going to be there to help him pick it up? Could it be Chris Paul down the stretch? We look at that previous basket against Morris. That right to left crossover, dangerous. And we saw that finish. But Paul George is here. Paul George attacking the basket. Gets an easy finish. He falls to the ground, and he tried to get back defensively. Reggie Jackson had to foul Chris Paul to slow things down with 8:20 to go. We look at Paul George. Paul George actually thought he was fouled. He was by both Cam Johnson and Dario Saric. No call there. George exploded right past Torian Craig. Fouled by Cam Johnson and Dario Saric. No call. but he finished the layup though, 98 to 91. So we approach 8 minutes to go. Cam Johnson trying to get a layup. He misses it. Rebounded by George. George surveying the floor. Thought about a three, goes to Morris on the left wing. Morris gets it to Jackson. Jackson with the pick and roll, kicks it to Morris. Morris guarded by Sharridge. Jab step on the left wing. Pulls up for the mid-range. It rims out. Tough miss there for Morris. He's been on all night. Now down to 14 from the floor. Chris Paul looking for Sharridge inside. Sharridge has has his dribble deflected, but he was fouled. So 7:43 to go here in the fourth. It's a 3-1 lead for the Suns here in this series. This is the best out of 7. So the next win for the Suns will have them advance to their second NBA Finals in NBA history. Most recently, they went to the finals with Charles Barkley in 1993, but lost to the great Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Phil Jackson. Clippers get a turnover, but in turn give it right back. Now the Suns are running. Devin Booker at the rim misses a layup. Another rebound for Paul George. George gets the outlet pass to Reggie Jackson. Jackson a little bit out of control. He has to slow it down. He does. He gets it to Paul George. So it's a 7-point game. Suns weren't able to capitalize off the Clippers turnover. 6 on the shot clock. Paul George has it stolen. Great defense by Devin Booker. Cam Johnson picks up the ball at the rim, finishes the layup, and is fouled. Good all-out sellout there from Cam Johnson to get that layup. And it's a 5-point game with an opportunity to inch even closer. Paul George with the turnover, tried to go behind the back. Thought he was fouled by Devin Booker. Devin Booker played exceptional defense there. No call on the foul. Cam Johnson picked it up, finished the layup, and was fouled by Morris there. Morris trying to prevent the easy layup, but he couldn't stop the follow-through on the finish. So Johnson tonight, again, playing exceptionally well despite being limited in experience. 14 points tonight. And now we got a foul. We got a foul against the Clippers on the free throw. So what we're gonna see is Torian Craig go to the free throw line. Let's look at the replay. So we see on the box out, Paul George actually pushes Torian Craig to the ground, trying to box him out. So what's gonna happen now? Craig actually made the free throw. Johnson actually made the free throw. It's 6:58 to go. Clippers up by 4, but momentum is shifting. You can hear this crowd for Phoenix picking it up. And as the pressure mounts, again, the Clippers are one loss away from being eliminated for the season. The Clippers are one win. The Suns are one win away from going to the finals. This closeout has been very, very tough for the Suns. The Clippers have maintained and sustained the lead for the majority of this game. But as the pressure mounts, all of the pressure will be on the Clippers because their season is on the brink, and we've seen at times that they don't know how to manage games down the stretch, especially under pressure. So let's see what happens. It's a 4-point game right now, 98 to 94. Stay tuned for more. This is the Game of the Day by Zay, presented to you by Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Welcome back to a Game of the Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. We look at the Cam Johnson free throw, and they are reviewing the foul for the Paul George foul. So they uphold the call, foul called against Paul George, but Craig misses the free throw. That would have inched the Suns even closer, 98 to 95. But it remains a 2-possession game. Clippers up. Paul George trying to draw a foul against Craig. You look at the replay as George uses the swipe through maneuver. They say the foul's on the floor. 10 on the shot clock. Clippers go to George. George looking to set up Nicholas Batum. Works it to Reggie Jackson. Left wing 3 for Jackson. rolls around every part of the rim and rolls in. Big three for Reggie Jackson and the Clippers. Now back to a 7-point game, 101 to 94. Game 6 for this series will be Wednesday, if necessary. Devin Booker with the basketball. Attacking Morris. Puts his head down, goes off the glass. Can't finish the layup. Fighting for the rebound. DeAndre Ayton goes right up. Can't finish the layup. Offensive rebound, Ayton, he can't finish. Rebounded by Paul George. George pushing. Stopped by Craig just for a moment. And we see George go up strong on Devin Booker. Booker was looking for the offensive foul. No call. So now it's a 9-point game. 103 to 94. A quick 5-0 run for the Clippers has gotten it back to a 9-point game. Paul George now 14 of 19 from the floor, 35 points. Devin Booker attacking Reggie Jackson. Kicks it out to Craig. Craig at the rim, trying to finish over Morris. No foul, but he finishes the layup. So it's a 7-point game. 5:30 to go. Paul George. 4 points here in his fourth. He's been dealing with a couple of fouls. He's been a little frustrated, but he's playing through the frustration. Now guarded by Devin Booker. Booker's been playing exceptional defense against George in this series. George sets up Reggie Jackson for another three from that left wing. He knocks it down. Big basket for Reggie Jackson. 10-point game now. 10-point game now for the Clippers. Reggie Jackson, 4 of 6 from 3, 7 of 12 from the floor. Cam Johnson trying to set up DeAndre Ayton. Paul George was ready. It leads to a steal. Reggie Jackson at the rim, slams it home for another basket for the Clippers. Clippers up 12 with 4:47 to go. Here we go. The Clippers are responding. The Clippers have responded to another Suns run. It was just recently 98 to 94. Coming out of that timeout, Torrey Craig had an opportunity to get it to 98, 95. He missed that layup, and the Clippers have gone on a run. We'll be back with more. This is the Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Welcome back to a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. The Clippers have gone on a magnificent run. They've outscored the Clippers. They've outscored the Suns, 12-2. They're up 108 to 96. Out of that timeout, Chris Paul takes a three. He misses it. The Clippers come back and get Paul George an opportunity with the shot clock winding down. He's fouled on the jump shot, but he's throbbing in pain right now. We look at the replay. Step back dribble on Jay Crowder, and Jay Crowder actually hits him in the face on the finish. So he's definitely fouled. I don't know if he was poked in the eye there, but he's throbbing in pain now. 4:17 to go here in the fourth. I don't know if they review this or not. I don't think it's worthy of a review. But we look at the Chris Paul missed three, good closeout from Nicholas Batum, and I like the fact that the ref didn't call the foul, because you can see Chris Paul trying to initiate the contact with his legs at the bottom. So here we go with the replay. This replay right here, to me, is unnecessary. Yes, Jay Crowder hit him in the face, but it wasn't malicious. Paul got poked in the eye. Sometimes when you close out, you try to close out in front of the player's face. He put his hand near his face. He got hit in the eye, but it wasn't malicious or anything that would be looked at as dirty. You look at the crossover dribble, left to right. He pulls it back, creates the space. Jay Crowder closes out, and he tries to put his hand in Paul George's face. He got hit in the face. It's a foul. It's not a flagrant foul. So they're reviewing this. You can actually see Paul George getting worked on by the medical staff on the bench while they. Wow. They call a flagrant foul on Jay Crowder. I can't believe what's going on here. Uh, this is the second flagrant foul of the game. The first flagrant foul was called against uh, Patrick Beverly, which I didn't agree with because I thought that Chris Paul tried to initiate the contact with Patrick Beverly. They say Patrick Beverly had unnecessary contact with Chris Paul while he was landing, and they gave Chris Paul 3 free throws in the Suns' possession. Now, look at Paul George. Clippers are up 12. These 2 free throws are important because now they're going 14 and have an opportunity to get possession as we approach 4 minutes to go here in the fourth. Paul George makes the first free throw. George has had a magnificent second half. 11 points here in the here in the first half. In the second half, 25 points, 9 of 11 from the floor. He's been efficient all the way around. He was 5 of 8 in the first half and 9 of 11 here in the second half. But he definitely picked up his scoring there in that third quarter to create the separation, and they've been able to sustain. So it's 110 to 96. We approach 4 minutes to go here in the fourth. Clippers trying to get this game, trying to get this series back to a game 6 in LA. Paul George, mid-range jump shot, good over Mikal Bridges. So Paul George is on his way to a 40-point game. 39 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Chris Paul on the right sideline, works his way to the right corner. Mid-range jump shot over Morris, good. We're not to the point where the score is cosmetic, but we're on the way. The Clippers just have to finish out the next minute and a half or so very strongly, and this game will be over. Morris slowed down there in the second half. He turns over the basketball. Bad turnover there, and then he compounded with the foul against Chris Paul. So if you want to have a collapse, that's the way you do it. Turn over the basketball, commit fouls, and now with Phoenix in the penalty, Chris Paul will go to the free throw line for 2 with the shot clock stopped. Chris Paul tonight, 20 points, 8 of 17 from the floor, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He makes the first. So this game is not quite over just yet. The Suns still can get stops and knock down that 3 ball. The 3 ball keeps you in the game. The Clippers have to continue to execute, get good stops. Paul George looking to attack, has it deflected. Great defense by Jay Crowder, and they call a foul. Jay Crowder can't believe the call. Patrick Beverly wants the technical foul. We look at Paul. Paul was fouled. You can see on the reach-in, Jay Crowder slapped his hand. It was definitely a foul. So Paul will go to the free throw line looking to get to 40 points. We'll see if this will be challenged. It was definitely a foul. He definitely hit Paul twice. But the foul that they did call is he slapped Paul on the hand. He definitely slapped Paul on the hand. But head coach Monty Williams will challenge it. It's going to be a tough call, but it is what it is. We'll be back with more. This is a Game of Day by Zay presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Clippers looking to close out this game up 12. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. So Paul George has an opportunity to reach his playoff career high. He's never scored 40 in a playoff game until now. He surpasses his previous playoff high at 39. Now with 40, he has 40 points with 3:05 to go. Could this be a playoff 50? Let's see. Second free throw was good. Paul George now with 41 points, 3:05 to go. Clippers back up by 14. Chris Paul working his way to that right corner. Takes a right corner 3. He misses it. Paul George with another rebound. George guarded by Jay Crowder. Paul George attacks Jay, kicks it over to Morris. Morris can't save it from going out of bounds. Tough pass there from George to Morris. So Booker attacking Patrick Beverly. Mid-range jump shot. Falls short. Rebounded by Batum. He gets it to Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson has played spectacular tonight, especially he's knocked down some huge three-point shots here in the fourth to create more separation for the Clippers. And he's played just magnificent the entire postseason for this Clippers team. He misses a three-point shot from the left wing. Devin Booker attacks downhill. He misses a layout. Good contest there by Reggie Jackson despite the miss. Patrick Beverly trying to find Paul George. You get a timeout call by the Clippers. Under 2 minutes to go here in the fourth. Clippers trying to finish off this Suns team here in Game 5 to push it to a Game 6. We'll be back with more. This is a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page. Welcome back to a Game of Day by Zay, presented to you by the Ask Isaiah YouTube page as we finish up this fourth quarter of Game 5 between the Los Angeles Clippers and Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns have a 3-1 lead in this series, but the Clippers have come out and dominated, especially in the paint. They have a 28-point advantage in the paint, 58-30. Paul George with 41 points through this game so far, 11 points in the first half. He's played spectacular here in the second half. Big kudos goes to Marcus Morris as well. He set the tone for the Clippers to start. 20 points in the first half. So far here in the second half, he hasn't been able to keep up the prolific nature in which he scored. He only scored 2 points in the second half. But again, he set the tone there in the first half. 8 of 10 from the floor in the first half. Only 1 of 6 in the second half. But Reggie Jackson has picked it up in the second half. He has 23 points overall. 8 of 14 from the floor, 4 of 7 from 3, and 2 huge dunks here in this game that definitely surprised the Suns in terms of just how he's attacked and been so aggressive. Paul George, 15 of 20 from the floor, a virtuoso level performance. 3 of 6 from the floor, 8 of 8 from the free throw line, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. He does have 6 turnovers, but he's been tasked with being the primary facilitator and go-to scorer down the stretch. So that's to be expected at times, especially as a player who's not known to be a point guard. He's been asked to take on added responsibility towards the latter part of the season. But he's definitely lived up to his responsibility, and he's trying to get this Clippers team to the finals without Kawhi Leonard, who's missing his 7th consecutive playoff game with a sprained knee. So we approach a minute to go. Ty Lue clears out his bench. You got Yogi Ferrell in the game. He misses the jump shot, so it'll go out of bounds. They say it's deflected, so possession will stay with the Clippers. 1:06 to go here in the fourth. Paul George, to be quite honest with you, has been asked to play some of his biggest playoff games on this playoff run. We can go to the Game 5 in Utah. 37 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists. You can look to this game tonight, down 3-1 on the road. Huge game for Paul George to really solidify this season for the Clippers and try to get them back to a Game 6 at home, give them a shot at a Game 7. When you look at this particular series with the Suns, although they're down 3-1, both teams can say in a number of ways that they're possessions away from being both up 3-1 or down 3-1. Now, the Suns have been able to capitalize more often than the Clippers, but the Clippers didn't have to necessarily go against the game plan that they've had up until this point. They just had to fine-tune a couple of things, and that's what they did tonight. And now they have an opportunity to go back to LA. With 20 seconds to go, the Clippers up 116-102. You get a 3 from Abdul Nader, no good. rebounded by the Clippers, and the Clippers would just dribble it out. 116 to 102 with their back against the wall. The Clippers have come out and basically dominated this game wire to wire. They started the game out with a 20-5 lead, and they didn't look back. Yes, the Clippers did come back. Yes, the Suns did come back and take the lead midway through that third quarter, but it was only momentarily because the Clippers responded in kind, and they were led by Paul George again with a magnificent second half. 30 of his 41 points in the second half. Was able to do everything he wanted. Get to the free throw line, utilize the three ball, work the mid range. He was just totally in the zone tonight. And when you look at what he was able to do, especially in the second half, 10 of 12 from the field in the second half, he had 13 rebounds. 9 of those rebounds came in the second half. He was able to lead this team back to LA for Game 6. Now, if you're the Suns, you don't panic. This is a Clippers team that was back against the wall, playing desperate. They had to play for this season. They had to fight for this season. I thought that Phoenix, despite losing by 14, did give it a valiant effort. Devin Booker came out and balled. Booker tonight, 9 of 22. His field goal percentage dropped towards the latter part of that third quarter, but he was efficient for the majority of the game. 9 of 22 from the floor, he had 31 points. Chris Paul had 22 points. He started to score late when the score was out of reach, but he performed much better than he did over the first 2 games in which he played. DeAndre Ayton didn't get a goal in tonight. I think that was a big difference. Ayton was only 5 of 9 from the floor. He had 11 rebounds, but he didn't have the same presence in the paint, especially offensively. And I think it showed as the Clippers attacked the Suns in the paint all night with a 58-point drumming in the paint. They outscored the Suns 58-32 in the paint. So that was really the difference in the game. And I thought that while the Clippers didn't shoot well overall from 3, they only shot 10 of 30. It was about who was making the threes that was most important. And if Paul George is making his threes, then that gives the overall unit more confidence. Reggie Jackson knocked down a couple of threes. Again, Marcus Morris was great in that first half, had 20 of his 22 in the first half, and the Clippers were just able to hold serve just enough to get it back to Los Angeles. So we'll be back with Game 6 of this series on Wednesday. Will the Clippers be able to push this to Game 7? We don't know. But what I do know is that for tonight, Paul George did his job. Again, 41 points, a career high 41 points from the floor, 15 of 20. He made magnificent shot after magnificent shot. He had 13 rebounds, and the Clippers will be forcing a Game 6. Stay tuned for more throughout the rest of this postseason as I will cover not only this series, but the Atlanta Hawks and Milwaukee Bucks, and provide coverage for the NBA Finals. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.